NBA trade deadline grades, the Eastern Conference. The Atlanta Hawks. Coming in, Saddiq Bey, Garrison Matthews, Bruno Fernando, and 2 second-round picks. Going out, Frank Kaminsky, Justin Holiday, and 5 second-round picks. Grade, B+. The smaller move was inconsequential, but Saddiq Bey might actually be a very useful rotation player for the Hawks. When viewed all together, they basically paid 3 second-rounders for him, which is a pretty good deal for a young, talented player. The Boston Celtics. Coming in, Mike Muscala. Going out, Justin Jackson and 2 second-round picks. Grade, B+. Mike Muscala has been under the radar in OKC for the past few seasons, but he's a sneaky good three-point shooter, especially for a big man. He might not ultimately crack the playoff rotation, but it's worth a shot. The Brooklyn Nets. Coming in, Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 5 first-round picks, 1 first-round pick swap, and 4 second-round picks. Going out, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Markieff Morris, TJ Warren, and Kessler Edwards. Grade, B. Kyrie forced the Nets' hand and accelerated the teardown, so given the circumstances, it was a pretty impressive return for 2 superstar players, especially what they got for KD, as you would expect for an MVP candidate. However, for Kyrie, I wouldn't have chosen the Mavericks offer. It seemed more like an attempt to appease Durant with win-now players like Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, but then they ended up moving him anyways. I would have prioritized future assets like the Lakers' 2 first-round picks if possible. Now, the Nets might just be too good to fully rebuild. The Charlotte Hornets. Coming in, Reggie Jackson, Svi Mykhailiuk, and 3 second-round picks. Going out, Jalen McDaniels and Mason Plumlee. Grade, B. Selling off some of their competent rotation players was the right move in this rebuilding season, but the return of just 3 second-rounders was not exactly inspiring. I think they should have been more aggressive as sellers. The Chicago Bulls. Coming in, nothing. Going out, also nothing. Grade, C. They didn't make any mistakes, but they didn't improve either. For a listless team stuck in the middle of the conference, standing pat was not very helpful. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Coming in, nothing. Going out, also nothing. Grade, D. The Cavs and Bulls were the only teams to do nothing at the trade deadline. It's especially frustrating for Cleveland, though, as they are legitimate contenders in the Eastern Conference and could desperately use an upgrade at small forward, of which there were many available. The Detroit Pistons. Coming in, James Wiseman. Going out, Kevin Knox. Grade, B-. It's another reclamation project for Detroit. Frankly, though, at this point, I'd be surprised if they get much of anything from Wiseman. Their Marvin Bagley reclamation project doesn't inspire much confidence. But the price was low, so no harm, no foul. Also, though, they might have missed a good opportunity to sell high on Bojan Bogdanovic. The Indiana Pacers. Coming in, Jordan Nwora, George Hill, Serge Ibaka, who they waived, and 3 second-round picks. Going out, nothing, except they did waive Goga Bitadze, Terry Taylor, and James Johnson. Grade, B+. Ultimately, this was a minor move for Indiana, as they basically just helped facilitate the Bucks trade by taking on those 3 contracts and then cutting 3 of their own. But they got 3 second-rounders in the process, so not bad. The Miami Heat. Coming in, nothing. Going out, Dwayne Dedmon and a second-round pick. Grade, C-. Like the Cavaliers, the Heat missed out on a much-needed opportunity to strengthen their squad in what has been an underwhelming season. And having to pay a second-rounder to get rid of Dedmon is also frustrating. The Milwaukee Bucks. Coming in, Jay Crowder. Going out, Jordan Nwora, George Hill, Serge Ibaka, and 5 second-round picks. Grade, B-. It felt inevitable that Crowder would end up in Milwaukee, and while he does fit nicely into their rotation, his impact might ultimately be somewhat underwhelming. Plus, they might have overpaid slightly to get him. The New York Knicks. Coming in, Josh Hart. Going out, Cam Reddish, Ryan Arcidiacono, Svi Mykhailiuk, and a protected first-round pick. Grade, B. Hart should fit nicely into Tibbs' defensive system. It's another slow and steady move from this much more responsible Knicks front office. I do wonder if the protected pick was a slight overpay, though. The Orlando Magic. Coming in, Patrick Beverley and a second-round pick. Going out, Mo Bamba. Grade, B. The Magic had a logjam in the frontcourt with all of their young, talented big men, so Bamba was expendable, and a second-round pick in return seems like fair value. The Philadelphia 76ers. Coming in, Jalen McDaniels and 2 second-round picks. Going out, Matisse Thybulle and 1 second-round pick. Grade, B-. This might have been selling low on Thybulle, but getting Jalen McDaniels is a decent replacement. He's certainly more capable offensively. The Toronto Raptors. Coming in, Jakob Poeltl. Going out, Khem Birch, 1 protected first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Grade, D. The Raptors were thought to be one of the biggest sellers at the deadline after their uninspiring season thus far. OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet in particular were drawing major interest from teams around the league. But Masai Ujiri and company perplexingly decided to not move any of their core guys, instead going the other way and bringing in former Raptor Jakob Poeltl. It seems like a slight overpay and a major missed opportunity to capitalize on a soft rebuild. VanVleet could walk in the summer for nothing, and Anunoby's value might never be this high again. And finally, the Washington Wizards. Coming in, Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. Going out, Rui Hachimura. Grade C-. Much like the Raptors, the Wizards probably should have struck while the iron was hot, with league-wide interest in Kyle Kuzma at an all-time high. Instead, they nearly got 3 second-round picks while selling low on Rui Hachimura. This team is the definition of the treadmill of mediocrity. NBA trade deadline grades, the Western Conference. The Dallas Mavericks. Coming in, Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. Going out, Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, 1 first-round pick and 2 second-round picks. Grade C+. Kyrie Irving is undeniably a star talent in the NBA. Unfortunately, his track record over the past few seasons, from Cleveland to Boston to Brooklyn, is unreliable, to put it charitably. This move raises the Mavericks' ceiling, to be sure, but it also lowers their floor as well. There is a dangerously high chance that this experiment flames out spectacularly. The only silver lining, the price was not exorbitant. Yes, Dinwiddie and DFS are serviceable players for a playoff team, but they're not stars. Kyrie is, and this is a star-driven league. The Denver Nuggets. Coming in, Thomas Bryant and 2 second-round picks. Going out, Bones Highland, Devon Reed, and 3 second-round picks. Grade B-. If you evaluate these moves together, they basically got Thomas Bryant for a second-round pick and Bones Highland. And in a vacuum, that's a decent move, as the Nuggets were desperate for an upgraded backup big man and had grown weary of the incongruous offense from Bones Highland, whose reputation might be bigger than his actual impact. But with many of their opponents at the top of the Western Conference also strengthening, it's fair to wonder whether this was enough of an upgrade for the Nuggets. The Golden State Warriors. Coming in, Gary Payton II, Kevin Knox, and 5 second-round picks. Going out, James Wiseman and 5 second-round picks. Grade B+. Once again, it's easier to look at these moves together. They basically turned James Wiseman into Gary Payton II. Keeping the sunk cost fallacy in mind, moving Wiseman for anything would have been a good move, so getting a valuable rotation player who you know fits into your crunch time lineup was perfect. The Houston Rockets. Coming in, John Wall, Danny Green, both of whom will be waived, Frank Kaminsky, Justin Holiday, and 1 first-round pick swap rights. Going out, Eric Gordon, Garrison Matthews, Bruno Fernando, and 2 second-round picks. Grade B. At long last, the Rockets have traded Eric Gordon. In return, they will most likely be able to move up several spots in the draft, with the Bucks pick, which they own, being swapped for the Clippers pick. And realistically, at this point, that's pretty good value for Gordon. Although I still don't understand the other move. Why did they give away Garrison Matthews and 2 second-rounders to the Hawks? The LA Clippers. Coming in, Mason Plumlee, Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, and 3 second-round picks. Going out, Reggie Jackson, John Wall, Luke Kennard, 1 first-round pick swap, and 3 second-round picks. Grade B. It's a lot of noteworthy names coming in and out for the Clippers. Ultimately, they are better going forwards, especially with Eric Gordon taking some of the playing time at guard and Mason Plumlee taking all of the playing time backing up Ivica Zubac. Overall, though, their ceiling is probably not that much higher than it was before. Plus, it's disappointing that they had to move on from Luke Kennard. The Los Angeles Lakers. Coming in, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba, Devon Reed, and 3 second-round picks. Going out, Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, Thomas Bryant, Patrick Beverley, 1 protected first-round pick, 4 second-round picks, and 1 second-round pick swap. Grade B. Overall, the Lakers' whirlwind trade deadline was successful. Basically, every move they made was positive value, bringing in good players or moving on from bad contracts at a reasonable or bargain rate. The fact that they got off Westbrook's contract and brought in Russell, Beasley, and Vanderbilt all in one fell swoop just for the price of 1 first-round pick is a coup. And then Bamba and Hachimura were also solid pickups. However, with all of that being said, it still feels like the Lakers are going to struggle to even make the play-in tournament. And it's especially disheartening to see what some of their direct competitors in the Pacific Division were able to bring in comparison. The Memphis Grizzlies. Coming in, Luke Kennard. Going out, Danny Green and 3 second-round picks. Grade A-. Although it was a relatively small move, acquiring Kennard was just what the doctor ordered for the Grizzlies. A knockdown three-point shooter who doesn't need the ball, providing an alternative to Dillon Brooks, depending on the matchup and who's hot. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Coming in, Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 2 second-round picks, and 1 second-round pick swap. Going out, D'Angelo Russell. Grade, C+. Russell was not a perfect fit next to Anthony Edwards, but he was having a solid season, and he's only 26. Now, they've gotten significantly older with 35-year-old Mike Conley, who is theoretically a nice fit, but practically is past his prime. It seems like there should have been a better return for Russell available that would have fit better with the Wolves' young core. It wasn't a disastrous move, but it was far from inspiring. The New Orleans Pelicans. Coming in, Josh Richardson. Going out, Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks. Grade, B. This was a solid, low-risk move for the Pelicans. Moving on from Graham was a long time coming. His stint in New Orleans has been terrible, and Richardson addresses one of their biggest needs, more options for their thin guard rotation. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Coming in, Justin Jackson, Dario Saric, and 3 second-round picks. Going out, Mike Muscala and Darius Bazley. Grade, B+. 2 low-key solid moves for the Thunder. Frankly, getting anything at all from Muscala and Bazley, considering that neither one was a part of the Thunder's long-term future at all, should be seen as a win. The Phoenix Suns. Coming in, Kevin Durant, TJ Warren, and Darius Bazley. Going out, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, Dario Saric, 4 first-round picks, 1 first-round pick swap, and 1 second-round pick. Grade, A. It hurts to move on from Bridges and Johnson, who were both fan-favorite homegrown success stories. It's also rough to give up 4 first-round picks and an additional pick swap. And it's also head-scratching to give up Dario Saric and a second-round pick for Darius Bazley. And yet, none of that matters when you've got one of the greatest players in NBA history and a current MVP candidate, Kevin Durant, walking through the door. He elevates this team instantly to championship contender, if not championship favorite. It's a home run for the Suns and new owner Matt Ishbia. And the fact that they also got TJ Warren back is just the cherry on top. The Portland Trailblazers. Coming in, Matisse Thybulle, Cam Reddish, Ryan Arcidiacono, 1 protected first-round pick, and 5 second-round picks. Going out, Josh Hart, Gary Payton II, and 3 second-round picks. Grade, C+. Thybulle is a decent pickup for the Trailblazers, but giving up Hart and Payton make it sort of a wash, as all 3 of them are defensive specialists. They did get a decent haul in return though, all things considered. I'm just not sure what direction Portland is trying to go with these moves. The Sacramento Kings. Coming in, Kessler Edwards. Going out, nothing. Grade, B-. This was essentially a nothing burger for the Kings. They were just helping the Nets with their roster crunch, and Edwards will probably just end up on their G League team at best. They did get a visit from our old friend Cash Considerations, though. The San Antonio Spurs. Coming in, Dwayne Dedmon, who they waived, Khem Birch, Devontae Graham, 1 protected first-round pick, and 7 second-round picks. Going out, Jakob Poeltl and Josh Richardson. Grade, B+. The Spurs continue their aggressive rebuild, moving on from 2 of their remaining capable veterans they had left on the roster in Poeltl and Richardson. They've done a nice job of utilizing their cap space, taking on unwanted contracts in exchange for second-round picks. And finally, the Utah Jazz. Coming in, Russell Westbrook, who will likely be bought out, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and a protected first-round pick. Going out, Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and 2 second-round picks. Grade, B+. On one hand, you could argue that the Jazz should have gotten more back, considering that they sent out 3 capable rotation players, 2 second-round picks of their own, and took back the Russell Westbrook contract, which in and of itself should have warranted compensation. On the other hand, though, they should be lauded for striking while the iron was hot and nabbing one of the hottest commodities on the trade market, a Lakers' future first-round pick, albeit one with protections.